Dear students, so today we will have a topic which is based on empirical based research. So in this one research, we will discuss that what is the empirical based research and what are the examples for that one. And we will also discuss about the case studies that how these experimental based research are conducted, especially in the medical field with the placebo controlled study. There is like there will be this is our agenda for today discussions. So we'll have types of research after the introduction, and you will see what is empirical research and in medical what is a placebo control experiments and then we will have some examples from empirical research with the conclusion and question answer session. So this is a little bit about me. This is my brief history, my academic achievements and my research achievements. As we know that there are various types of research. Some are descriptive research, analytical research, applied research, fundamental research based on mathematics, qualitative and quantitative with the numerical and textual data. And then we have like empirical research, which is based on the experiments. So, what is a empirical research? This is a very important question, especially for those who studies like medical chemistry or some physics. They have like usually they conduct these kind of researches. So empirical research is defined as whose conclusion and exclusively derived from some concrete and verifiable evidence. Like, so what does it mean? It means that there should be some experiment based evidence when we conduct an experiment. So there should be some scientific evidence as an outcome. So looking at that one, so if your research is based on experimentation and evidence as a proof, then that kind of research is considered as a empirical research. Uh, and then we have when it is like in the real world evidence we need for that one. It could be quantitative research or qualitative or the mixed. So basically, this empirical word is from the Greek mythology or Greek terminology, which is from empirikos, which means that experienced. So instead of like long observed dogmatic principles, the Greek shifted to the observed phenomena, or they call as a theory of the knowledge, and they applied as senses as evidence. So what you look, what you feel, what you see, what you hear. So these evidences are considered to be the part of their experiments, and based on that one, we can establish some knowledge. So the examples of like empirical based research is, for example, if you see that if some people, employees who working from home, it reduces the stress, right? So we need to divide the people or the subjects into two groups, and then we need to observe whether is there any effect those employees who are working in the offices, they have less or more stress, and those who are working from their home, whether they have less or more stress. So by observing all these things, then we can establish some evidence and some established knowledge. So qualitative empirical research, like the examples when you do experiments and you like you intend to have some qualitative research, then it could be observational method, like some ethnographic research, design, culture, languages, behavior. It could be interview based, like patterns. You see the patterns in the interviews. You can use NView software for that one. You can have some case studies, variable, but in the case study, variable must be same for each case to case. Textual analysis, for like for media content, social media, you can have some textual analysis, or we can call it like text mining as well. Focus group, like Delphi method, where you repeat the same experiments with the same groups and the same questions, and then re-verify whether the answer are same or no. In quantitative experiments could be like some control lab experiments like in chemistry or in the medical field. Surveys like in marketing, we have like close-ended surveys. We can also go for causal comparative research or causal effect relationship. It could be like cross-sectional research for a particular point. maybe in the pharmacy. Longitudinal like study is more about like cohort studies for longer time, 10 years, 5 years, or 15 years. Like for example, if you want to see what is the long-term effect of smoking from 1956 to 2001, so it's like it's almost 50 years. So then correlation, yeah, can also be done with that one, regression and neutral correlation between different variables. So, for example, this is one of the studies. Like, for example, if you see that what is the effect of smoking on the people. So, from it is from 1951 to 2001, and then doctor had observed this phenomena, and they came to the conclusion that stopping at age of 50 half the smoking hazard. But like if you stop at the age of 30, is avoided almost hazards, right? So on average, the cigarette smokers die around 10 years younger with respect to the non-smoker. So this is like, the evidence, or this is like, the results what we got from the experiments from this much cohort. Okay, now we say what are the steps for empirical research? So it is resembles with the normal research, but with the specific changes. You need to establish the research objective. What is my objective? Why I'm doing this experiment? Reviewing literature, relevant literature, and supporting theories. You need to look for the literature, what other people, other researchers, they have done the work, and what are the supporting theories which you need to test. Framing the hypothesis and the measurements and the measurements for your hypothesis, your variables, defining the research design, methodology, and data collection techniques, and then conducting the data analysis and framing the results. And at the end, you make a decision based on your observations. Yeah, so this is some of examples, empirical researches with the largest number of study subjects. So one of the empirical research which is done on the most cited one is like Twitter users, okay, fake news. Second is like autism in adults. Third is on the Danish children, and the fourth is on the British adults. So these are the few examples which has been done. The empirical study has been done in this field. The research cycle, how the empirical research cycle works, like it starts with the observation, and then you go for induction, okay, of the method, and then you deduce whatever the result from it, and then you retest it, and then you evaluate with this specific scientific or statistical methods, and then the cycle goes on. What are the advantages, like of the empirical research is that since the time of ancient Greeks, empirical research had been providing world with the numerous benefits. The following are like it validates the previous research findings, it enhances the internal validity of your research, that there is a degree of control is high in this kind of research, and comprehend the progressive changes in that one. And the last benefit is that research projects more authentic and competent in the experiment base. Disadvantage, like it is time consuming, data collection is harder, especially when you have different sources and multiple methods, and also in the longitudinal research, also time consuming. You need to take permissions in case if the human subjects are involved or some living things are involved in it. It could be expensive if it is multiple location, if you need to collect human samples or animal samples from multiple locations from different countries. And for that one you need a seasoned researchers, and so that the statistical interpretation should be significant and it should not be incorrect. Like for example, I give you the example of Amrahen in 2019, and he came to know that 791 articles from the 5 different journals, they have interpreted the results incorrectly statistically. So frequency to commit wrong statistical interpretations, like you can see over here, the correct interpretation is 49% and the wrong interpretation is 51%. So here, the general scientific journal with the high impact factor, those who publish empirical research, our Nature is on the top, since it's working from since 1869. Then Science, then we have a Science Advances, Nature Communications, and PLOS is PLOS is also emerging journals, and they're publishing the research from 2006. Okay, so the one of the example is from placebo control study. In this one, we divide the group into two groups or into three groups. The first is given the real medicine. The second group is given sham or bogus or false treatment, so that they could be differentiated. So we can say like it's a blinded trials, okay, so that there should be a uh, uh, what you call transparency of the results. And there is another group, for example, active group who receive the active testing, placebo is group who receives the drugs that simulates the active drug, and the third one is the natural history. It doesn't receive any either placebo or active drug. So thank you very much, and this is one of the examples from the from empirical research. So if you have any question, you can post on the comments. And see you. Take care. Bye bye.